This is Albert Robinson with Tom Moses from the GIA. Thank you, Tom, Thank you for being interviewed for us. Could you just give our readers, our viewers, some general information about the Diamond Origin Report?
I can. As you know, we just introduced it, the Diamond Origin Report today here in India. And fundamentally, the impetus for creating this service was to tell the story about natural diamond and about its origin. And I think there has been a natural movement amongst consumers, and especially younger consumers, who really want to know where their products come from. And I think it came, why not diamond? And we felt at GIA, with more than 60 years of researching and characterizing diamonds, that we would leverage that knowledge to create this service.
Yes.
So the unique part of GIA's system, there are a number of systems today that are provenance reports or trace diamonds, but those are really done through an audit trail. So GIA, through a secure process, is able to get the rough diamonds directly from a producer or tracked through a diamond manufacturer. At that point, GIA characterizes the rough diamond through a number of analytical techniques.
Yeah.
We return that rough diamond, it's polished, the polished stones are then submitted. We do that same analysis as we did on the rough, and we're able to link the two together.
Okay.
So that's how we are, I would say that's the unique value proposition that GIA is bringing. And a lot of the material, support material, is telling the human side of the diamond story.
Yeah.
So when one thinks of a country like Botswana and how it transitioned in the last 40 or 50 years from one of the poorest countries in Africa to today, one of the highest living standard, highly educated, water for most people, great infrastructure, medical care. So we think it's important for consumers to know this about diamond.
Yeah.
So not just about the 4 C's, which they created decades ago, but the unique story about diamond as a gemstone. So we're excited about it.
There have been sort of reports suggesting that people don't exactly go up to the jewelry store and ask, oh, where's that diamond from, where's it from, where was it polished? But you say you have solid research that you've done showing, I think, 30% of younger buyers are interested in knowing exactly the source.
Yeah, so that's a great question. We actually, a few years ago, as we were exploring this idea, we did focus groups and asked this question. Okay. And interestingly enough, some of where the greatest interest was knowing, surprisingly, was I think around 70% in China. The United States was just slightly behind that. Oh. But we're actually seeing that growing because, I mean, if you go to buy coffee, they can tell you where it came from, or groceries, or where produce came from.
Yeah.
So I think this movement is growing, and especially, again, with a younger generation. So we think this is, if people can find out where their coffee is from, I think they deserve to know where their diamonds come from. So that's another driver for this.
Okay, and how much do you expect it to increase diamond sales or diamond jewelry sales? Do you think it can have a significant effect, or...?
I don't know. I truly don't know the answer of how this will impact sales. But I would say, based on some of the early comments we're having, people feel much better when they buy their diamond. So they first of all are buying it for its intrinsic beauty and so on. But they're also then telling the story to someone else. And oh, by the way, did you know this diamond formed 1 billion years ago? And it came from this small country in southeast Africa. So there is, I think, a pride that now goes along with it.
Right.
And I think sometimes in the past people maybe had doubts in their mind but didn't ask the salesperson. And we're equipping the retailers with the information to be able to communicate these facts to the consumer.
Yeah. And you launched it at the JCK show.
We did in the United States.
And now it's in India.
Yeah, that's right.
Which are there other big markets that you intend to launch it in?
In September, we will be in Hong Kong, China market then.
Just another question, looking at some companies, for example, are doing AI-based grading. Is that something that the GIA is looking into, is expecting to do? Is it something that can be relied on?
GIA created the 4 Cs for diamond grading in the early 1940s and began issuing our reports in the 1950s. So even in the early stages, we were using color machines to grade color more than 6 decades ago.
Right.
So supporting diamond grading with instrumentation is something we've been doing and believe in. And as far as artificial intelligence, we actually are well into a project with IBM and the famous Watson Group applying these methods. So clearly we're interested in it, we're in that, the technology and using it. But I would also say, and personally having some experience over the last parts of 5 decades doing this, I don't think technology will fully replace humans.
Right. You still believe in a person doing the work?
Well, there's the interesting thing we think of, as I said, we've been using color machines for decades. The human visual system is really sophisticated and really good that no camera can reproduce.
Right.
So we believe it will be a combination.
Okay.
And leveraging GIA's expertise on diamonds combined with technology, we firmly believe is the solution for the future.
Okay, and just one final question about the state of the market in general. I guess the labs probably have the best view of the market and what's happening. What is your view of the market right now? I mean, it's slow, that's not a secret in India, in Israel, and elsewhere, I suppose, but how do you see the state of the market currently?
It's somewhat of a cyclical business, and you are right. The labs have a view that we see intake up, intake down, but the nuance of the reasons for that, I think we know, we're not really buying or selling. So I don't think we know really they are so well equipped to give a good answer to that. Personally though, I think it's kind of a combination of things. Perhaps there was an increase in output of rough diamonds last year or two. Other macro factors like Chinese-America trade war. So I think there's a combination of things that probably causes this. Again, I'm not an expert, but these are just the things that I've observed and read about. That's kind of my opinion. And hopefully, as the selling season through the end of the year happens, that this will stimulate consumption, which seems to be the best medicine for any downturn in any market.
Right. Okay. Tom Moses, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.